Despite the sheer size of the Type Moon franchise, very few entries have been officially translated into English. The most well-known entry, Fate's Day Night, as well as its associated spin-offs, owe their popularity not to the original source material, but instead TV anime adaptations and feature films. In fact, no Type Moon visual novel has ever been officially translated before now. Gacha games do not count, and that PSP JRPG is on thin ice.
決めた。ツアープラン、スターマイン。
Originally released in 2012 on PC, Witch of the Holy Night is a linear Type Moon visual novel that, if you care about continuity, serves as a prequel to Tsukihime, that visual novel that the fighting game Melty Blood is based on, which also lacks an official release, and The Garden of Sinners, a light novel series that also lacks an official release. But it's not a prequel to both of them at the same time. Don't worry about it. Where it falls on the overall scheme of things is irrelevant to the more important fact that Witch on the Holy Night is one of the most incredible visual novels of all time, and it's officially available in English. Witch on the Holy Night is a strange coming-of-age story about 3 high schoolers living in a mansion. It stars the mage Aoko Aozaki, a hot-blooded powerhouse, the mysterious witch Alice Kuonji, and Sojuro Shizuki, the mild-mannered transfer student who is sort of forced against his will to live with the two of them in the mansion in the offskirts of Mizaki Town. You see, magic is sort of supposed to be kept secret, and Shizuki, bless this kid, just happened to spot them in the park doing, mage things. That's sort of bad. So after a bunch of stuff happens, Shizuki finds himself living in the mansion under supervision until Aoko and Alice can figure out what to do with him. Fundamentally, Aoko and Shizuki are our main characters, and the general dynamic is that the two entirely misunderstand each other in a way that leaves Aoko wanting to kill, bite, and murder, whilst Shizuki is thinking what a nice girl she is. It's extremely funny and very enjoyable. Everyone is just a smidge, or very, off-kilter, with supporting characters only contributing to the chaos and mayhem, as Shizuki accidentally inserts himself into other people's relationships by being an oblivious but wholesome guy. It's a simple story about weird people getting to know each other past their initial biases. What you'll notice first about this title is the presentation. It may be a visual novel, but Witch on the Holy Night opts not for the classical 1 or 2 portraits on the screen at once over set backgrounds, instead creating its own style out of insane amounts of backgrounds and contextually placed portraits. Coupled with the great voice acting, this leads to an incredible and cinematic experience. Sure, these characters aren't animated walking down a hallway, but the way our focal point jumps between headshots, shots of the hallway, CGs the characters' legs, and then coupled with the proper footstep sound effects, it feels like they are. I was sold on how amazing this was just from the melancholic scene of Shizuki waiting in the classroom whilst it rains outside. And then there are the action sequences. This sort of visual style melds fantastically with setting up action, and when Witch of the Holy Night hits you with the onslaught that is Chapter 5 in all of its chaotic glory, the only thing stopping me from reading was outside responsibilities. This goes well beyond a simple one-time trick. It is constant and makes this game huge. It's rocking a file size of 19.9 gigabytes of space, when most visual novels have to be really special in some way to get past 6. No performance issues were spotted either, which is usually what you'll want to keep in mind when dealing with a Switch game this large, to find out whether you'll need to install the title to system memory or not. There's also just under 60 tracks in the soundtrack, which is a lot, but I don't think that's why the file size is like that. If you're concerned about the translation, fear not. Besides Type Moon putting their mitts on the name romanization, leading to weird name spellings, the localization is fantastic. They use, for reference, Nihon Shiki romanization as opposed to Hepburn Shiki, which tries to condense all kana into 2 English characters, leading to things like a character named Yamashiro having their name written as Yamashiro. If Type Moon could not enforce Nihon Shiki name translations on their releases in future, that would be great, thanks. This is a writing choice that, whilst better looking to Japanese readers, is giving inaccurate information to English readers. A poor choice for localization. The UI is clean, and it actually uses the touchscreen on the Switch, simply needing a down swipe to bring up menu items. It only took 10 years, but now we have in our hands the first official English Type Moon visual novel, and it is absolutely stunning. With some fantastic characters, brilliant writing, and the best visual novel presentation I have ever seen, Witch on the Holy Night is a must-read for anyone interested in the visual novel medium. Maybe they'll get to Fate's Day Night next time. but I can assure you it will not look as good as this, unless they remake the whole thing. Noisy Pixel is giving Witch on the Holy Night a 9.5 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. Noisy Pixel is a group dedicated to bringing you guys the best news reviews, previews, and more. Please stick around and subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the bell to stay up to date on our future content.
Noisy Pixel.